Chapter 44. Jalen. All that I got is you. Checkmate, Akeem said confidently. Akeem and I were at the chess tables near the basketball courts by our apartments. Drastic decided to play a quick game of chess with Akeem while he was making his rounds. That's the first time he's ever beaten you, I said. Yeah. Even things get a lucky day sometimes. Don't get too excited, Drastic said. Nia and Rita were headed toward us. Rita approached me and gave me a quick peck on the lips. Nia came over to Akeem and sat on his lap.
Hey, baby,
Nia said. Hey, Akeem said, setting up the chessboard again.
You kicking ass?
Nia asked. Akeem smiled. You know this? Akeem directed Nia and Rita's attention to Drastic. Ladies, this is our boss, Drastic. Drastic, this is my girl Nia, and Jay's girl Rita. Nia and Rita greeted him, but Drastic was more interested in Nia. He was eyeing her shape hard, and Akeem noticed.
So, Drastic, I heard you got that work. I'm looking to get put on. What's up?
Rita asked.
Rita,
Nia said. I was mad about Rita's question, too. I've seen firsthand how Drastic used women in his trap houses, and I didn't want my girl working butt-ass naked packaging dope in front of Tavon. You want in on this shit, shorty? Drastic asked. Akeem patted Nia's thigh, so she'd get up from his lap. Baby, can you and Rita give us a minute? Y'all go kick it at your crib. Me and Jay will be there after we finish chopping it up with the boss, he said. At first, Nia looked taken aback by Akeem's dismissal, but she didn't fuss or argue. Instead, she nodded and signaled to Rita to head out.
I don't want to go anywhere. I'm trying to make moves here,
Rita said. Go on with your sister. When the time is right, shorty, we'll talk, Drastic told her. Rita looked disappointed but nodded, kissed me again, and walked home with Nia. Drastic smiled and said, I got time for another one. Set up the board, but this time let's play for something. Let's see how good you are when something is on the line. What are we playing for? Akeem asked. My truck for your chain, straight up. Nah, that was my pops. Nigga, you getting the chance to get a truck, and you turning it down? Don't be stupid. I bet. You sure you want to do that? I asked. Stay out of this, Jay. This is between me and Keem, Drastic said. Akeem put his chain on the side of the table, and Drastic put the keys next to him. They started playing another game. Drastic had an amused expression on his face. You must be really feeling this chick, huh? Drastic asked, trying to get a rise out of Akeem. Keem didn't answer. He kept his eyes on the chessboard. How come you never brought her around me before, huh? Maybe instead of your chain, I should have bet you for some of that pussy. Akeem stayed quiet, but he was making silly mistakes, losing pieces, and it was written all over his face that Drastic's words were getting to him. She a pretty little thing. You better treat her right. You don't want a smooth nigga like me to scoop her up and turn her young, thick ass out. Drastic laughed. That last bit definitely hooked Akeem. He was noticeably pissed and moved a piece that caused him to lose the game. Checkmate, Drastic said. Akeem looked like he wanted to kill him, and I could see from Drastic's face he loved seeing that expression on him. Oh, don't make that face, King. I'm gonna let you have her, Drastic said. Drastic snatched the chain from the table and walked away snickering. Then he stopped, turned around, and walked back to us. A word to the wise, King. Never let a nigga see they can press your buttons. I made a few slick comments about your lady, got in your head quickly and made you lose the game. The street shit is like chess. Even if someone fucks with your queen, you can't let that rattle you. If you want to be the man one day, let this be a lesson that you can't let a nigga see he got to you. Drastic chuckled and used the bottom of his shirt to shine the medallion on Akeem's chain. Now, whenever you touch that empty spot where your chain used to be, remember this. Hopefully, this was a learning experience for you today. And if not, I'll keep making bets with you for your stuff and take all your shit. Thanks for the chain. I'm calling it a day. I'm meeting up with one of my girls. I'm gonna check y'all later. Drastic walked away laughing. Akeem sat at the table seething and slapped the chess table hard. I gotta get my chain back, he said. Yeah, I tried to stop you, but you wasn't having that, I said. He made me get caught up in my feelings. That ain't gonna happen again. Akeem put all the pieces in a plastic bag and said, Come on, let's go. You want to head over to Nia and Rita's? I asked. Nah, not yet. I don't want Nia to see me mad like this. She'll keep bugging me to talk about it, and if I tell her what happened, I'll never hear the end of it. Let's kick it at your place until I cool down. Nah, man. You know I hate being in my apartment. Let's just chill at yours. Nope. Twin is there, and the first thing she'll notice when she sees me is that my chain is missing. I don't want to have that conversation with her right now. I get it. Let's not stay too long, though. I'm not trying to deal with my moms right now. We walked to our building. Mrs. Tracy and Ma were outside, leaning against the fence in front of our building, smoking a cigarette. As we headed up the path to our building, Akeem hugged and kissed his mom. Hey, Ma, he said.
Hey, baby.
Ma smiled and said,
Hey, sunshine.
She spread her arms wide for a hug, but her smile faded quickly once I rolled my eyes and walked past her without saying shit like she didn't exist. I heard her say,
Excuse me, Tracy. Usually I let his rude ass slide, but not today. I need to straighten out this boy. I've had enough of his bullshit, and it needs to stop now. Every day he tests my patience, and I'm sick of it. Oh, I understand completely. Handle your business, Queen,
Mrs. Tracy said. I ignored them and walked inside the building. Akeem caught up to me and, while we walked up the steps to my apartment, said, Yo, Jay, you need to ease up with dogging out your mom like that. Why? If she didn't nag my pops to go to the store, he'd still be alive. You need to cut her some slack. I see how hard shit is for my mom, and she doesn't have to deal with taking care of a kid with cancer like your mom does. Your mom didn't pull the trigger that killed your pops. If you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at the nigga that killed them. You lucky you got a mom that cares. Our moms might not be perfect, but they all we got left. Yeah, well, my mom wouldn't have to struggle so hard if my dad was alive, and he'd still be here if it wasn't for her. Akeem shook his head. What was the last thing your pop said to you before he died? He knew the answer. Over the many times we talked about our dads, he knew the last thing my dad said was, Take care of your mom for me. You know what he told me, I said. Exactly. So, stop dogging her out and do what he asked you to do. I didn't respond. I opened the door to my apartment. About a minute later, Mom walked in, pissed.
Akeem, I need to talk to my son. Alone.
No problem, Mrs. Juanita, he said. Akeem faced me. Yo, Jay, I'll catch up with you later. I nodded, and as soon as he left, I stood up from my couch and headed toward my room. Ma was right on my tail down the hallway.
We're going to talk,
she yelled. I walked into my room and slammed the door in her face.
Get back here! Don't you walk away from me when I'm talking to you,
Mom yelled. She flung open the door and said,
From now on, you will not slam another door in this apartment. Do you understand me?
I sucked my teeth, lay on my bed, and stared at the ceiling. Mom grabbed me by my shirt and brought me face to face with her.
Look at me when I'm talking to you, little boy.
I rolled my eyes. Whatever, I said. She let me go and smacked me.
Boy, have you lost your mind? Don't you whatever me. Who do you think you're talking to?
I turned my head. Ma grabbed me by my jaw and made me face her.
I don't appreciate my own son treating me like a piece of shit. I'm your mother, damn it, and we're going to talk.
Talk about what?
Your funky attitude you have with me all the time. All this pent-up anger you're holding in. I don't deserve to feel the wrath of it. I work too damn hard for this family to have you disrespecting me like you do. It needs to stop. And it's gonna stop today.
I stayed quiet, and we stared each other down for a while. Finally, Ma shook her head and said,
I wish your father was here to straighten your ass out. How long are you going to be like this? What, are you gonna hate me forever?
I sucked my teeth and shrugged.
I asked you a question, Jalen.
I looked her in the eyes and said, I don't know. Maybe.
I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. It's not my...
This was it. Today was the day I let out all the anger I'd bottled up inside me for so long. I cut her off abruptly. I treat you like shit because it wasn't the bullet that killed him. It was you. You nagged him and made him go to the store for bullshit. You could have cooked something else, but you had to have everything your way. You're the reason he's dead. Our family wouldn't have to suffer if it weren't for you. Her face softened.
Jalen.
No, don't say shit. Why did God have to take my dad, huh? I wish he would have taken you instead. The words left my mouth before I realized what I had said. She looked taken aback by what I said. Her eyes got misty, and their sadness showed I hurt her. But good. I knew I had gone too far, but I couldn't help it. I was too angry. After the hurt and shock of what I said passed, Ma said,
Since the day he left us, I felt nothing but regret and responsibility for his death. A piece of me died with him, and it bothers me every day. But nothing I say will bring your father back. I'm trying, Jalen.
I chuckled. Trying? Your trying ain't good enough. Where were you when I needed you? When kids used to pick on me, where were you? When I just needed someone to talk to because I missed Dad and was scared, where were you?
Where was I? I was busting my ass going to work every damn day, working a job I fucking hate to make sure you had clothes on your back and food on the table. Where was I? I was waking up early and coming home late, taking your brother to chemo and doctor appointments, and doing everything I could to make sure we didn't lose him too. Your father's death broke my heart and drained all of us. But every day, I made time to talk to you. If you needed to say something to me, you could have talked to me any time. Don't act like I wasn't there. I've always been here for you, and I will not let you guilt trip me into feeling like I haven't been.
Here for me? You didn't give a shit about me. You think sitting on the edge of my bed and having a shallow 5-minute conversation about how my day went was being there for me? Stop it. The world revolved around Jerami. I was just here for the ride. Even when Jerami wasn't at the hospital, you might have been home, but you weren't there for me. You were catering to your job and Jerami every second.
You're always quick to criticize everything I don't do. But you never appreciate anything I've done for you. When I try to talk to you, you shut me out. You treat talking to me like it's a chore for you. You ever wonder how you're able to watch cable when I'm catering to my job? You don't pay any damn bills around here. I pay that bill. You know that PlayStation you enjoy playing with? You don't know what I sacrificed to buy that for you and your brother. I've gone without plenty of times to make sure you and your brother are taken care of before ever thinking about buying things for myself. And not once do I get a thank you.
You do all that stuff for Jerami. You don't love me.
How could you look me in the eyes and say that to me? You're my firstborn. my sunshine. I love you more than anything in this world.
I sucked my teeth. Sunshine. Why do you call me that stupid name anyway?
The day you were born. It was pouring outside, and you decided to come a month early. I was in labor with you for hours. Your dad and I were scared that we weren't strong enough to be good parents to you, but we were determined to give you the best life we could, and we're excited to meet our firstborn. I pushed, and suddenly the rain stopped. The sun broke through the clouds, and you finally decided to come out. The West Indian nurse in the delivery room smiled, pointed at the window, and said, "You see how the sun started shining as soon as your boy came? That's the Lord telling you, your son is going to always be a blessing." She was right. Before your father passed, when days were hard for both of us, coming home and seeing you smile was like sunshine. It made our days better. That's why I gave you that nickname. I thought in the darkest times and our rough patches with your father gone, you'd really be the light for me at the end of the tunnel. When you were a baby, I laughed when you splashed around in the tub and held on tight to my finger when changing your diapers. It made me so happy just feeding you and watching you fall asleep on my chest.
There was a smile on her face, but it slowly faded, and her eyes got red-rimmed as she went on.
I loved you more than anything in the world. But my little boy grew up, and instead of being my light, lately you've been nothing but darkness for me. It hurts my heart. And it's killing me that my son disrespects me openly. It kills me that you don't appreciate anything I do for you and our family. It kills me that my own flesh and blood, my firstborn, acts like he hates me and treats me like I'm less than a stranger. It's killing me. You're killing me.
Tears were streaming down her face. Mom's chest heaved up and down as she wrapped her arms around herself and wept. All the anger left her face. Her shoulders were hunched, and she looked so deflated and defeated. I don't know why, but tears were rolling down my face out of nowhere. I thought about how good we were together before Dad died. How we used to laugh, talk, and were so happy and loving toward one another back then, and looked at where we were now. The truth was, I didn't like seeing her in pain, knowing I made her break down like this.
Yo, Jay, you need to ease up with dogging out your mom like that. You need to cut her some slack. I see how hard shit is for my mom, and she doesn't have to deal with taking care of a kid with cancer like your mom does. Your mom didn't pull the trigger that killed your pops. If you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at the nigga that killed them. You lucky you got a mom that cares. Our moms might not be perfect, but they all we got left.
I thought about what Akeem said and how hard Ma tried to balance work and being there for Jerami and me, especially dealing with his cancer. It took all that and seeing Ma break down for me being an asshole to realize what I was doing was wrong. I felt the tightness in my throat and my eyes getting moist. I closed them, and tears streamed down my face. I couldn't control it and surprised myself when I wrapped my arms around her shoulders, hugged her, and wept with her. I'm sorry, Ma. I just miss him so much, and every time I think about him, I end up taking my anger out on you. Ma pressed her forehead and nose against mine.
I know. I miss him every day, too.
Months passed, and after that day, our relationship improved. It didn't happen overnight, and I still did what I wanted to do, but I eased up on how I talked to and treated her. I remember Joe said,
"You guys are all wearing flashy shit without making sure your mamas are straight. There's no reason why your mama should still be broke and struggling if you pulling in money."
I took his advice and started giving my mom money to help out around the house. She never took it because she questioned how I could have so much money without a job. But since she wouldn't take money from me, I usually hid it in her jewelry box on her dresser. Things weren't perfect, but they were a lot better with Ma and me now.